Today I'm going to teach you how to make a whistle out of a stick. Hey everybody, welcome back to the homestead. This is Kevin with Living Traditions Homestead. And today I'm going to make something for myself, but I thought that I'd share it with you. It's a whistle made out of a stick. I've made a lot of these in the past. They come in handy. This time I want to make one for our new puppy that we just got. I'm going to put it on a necklace so I can wear it and have a whistle to be able to blow to get her attention when she's being super naughty. But in the past I've made them, actually when we first moved on to the homestead, I made one for each of the girls to wear around their necks when they would go out into the woods in case they would ever get lost, and you know, we'd need to be able to find them. They would have some way to be able to alert us easier. So it's a real simple process, and I'm going to show you exactly what we need to get started. The first thing you're going to need is some type of piece of wood. You can use just a dowel if you don't have you know, actual branches around, but I prefer to just make them out of what we have here growing. So this is a piece of cedar. You're also going to need a drill with two different sized drill bits. A small one for putting your lanyard on your whistle, and then a bigger one for the hole inside the actual whistle. You're also going to need a piece of some kind of cord if you're going to put it on a necklace. I mean, you don't have to put it on a necklace. I just like to be able to wear it that way. You're going to need some sandpaper, some type of saw. I like these pull saws. They're very handy. They're flexible, and they just do a good job for cutting these smaller kind of cuts. And then you can use either another small branch or a piece of dowel. I actually prefer to use a piece of dowel just because that way I can pick the right size drill bit to drill the interior hole. So the first thing that we want to do is again, get your stick, and you want to make sure that the stick has at least part of it that is pretty straight. So this one's kind of curvy, but there is this piece down here from about here to the end that looks pretty straight. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut that off where the straight part ends. Alright, so now I have this piece of stick here, which is going to be what we turn into the actual whistle. I'm going to just take my sandpaper and just smooth this down a little bit. I already took the bark off, but I am going to sand this down to get it nice and smooth. So I'm going to do that quick before we go any further. Alright, so once you have it sanded down nice and smooth to the way that you like it, now it's time to actually start turning it into a whistle. So the first thing you want to do is kind of make sure that you have your ends pretty flush. I mean, they don't have to be perfect, but when you stand it up, you want to be able to, you know, see kind of a nice straight line down the center of the stick. So again, you want to get a drill bit the same size as the dowel that you're going to use, and that is going to be what you use to drill your hole down the center of your whistle or down the center of your stick to make the hole for your whistle. Now you want to drill that hole at least about 3/4 of the way down the stick, if at all possible. The further the hole goes in, the deeper the sound will be of the whistle. So I'm going to try to do this so you guys can see. You want to try to center it and go as straight as you can. So I'm right there. Let's see how far that is. We're about halfway, so I'm going to go just a little bit further into the stick. I think that's probably about good. Yeah, that's probably about good. maybe not quite 3/4, but pretty close. The one thing, you know, the further you go, the more you risk being at an angle and then coming out the side of the stick. So if at all in doubt, stop a little short before that happens. So I think that's going to be a pretty good hole. Now we're going to get ready to use the saw to cut the angles to make the whistle part. Alright, so the next step again is to cut the air holes where your so when you blow into the whistle, it's what actually makes the whistle noise. So what I like to do is just kind of look at it. Normally what I do is look at the hole that I drilled in it. If it's a little bit closer to one side, I usually tend to make that the top. I don't know why, that's just the way I do it, but it seems to work out pretty well. So I can see this one's pretty centered, but it's a little closer here. So I'm going to make that the top. So what I'll do is I will take my saw, and first I'm going to cut a line straight here, probably about 3/4 of an inch into the whistle, and then I'm going to cut a hole or a line here at an angle that meets that line that I cut. So the first one will be about halfway through, and the second one will be at an angle to meet that. And I'll do those, and then I'll show you up close what it looks like. So there you have it. This is what it should look like when you're done. Now I'll take my sandpaper and I'll just smooth out a little bit there on the parts that I just cut. I might even take my pocket knife and just clean those up a little bit, and then it'll be ready to put the dowel on the inside to make it into a whistle. Alright, so I've got that sanded down. You can see that again, it looks like this right now. Now what we're going to do is cut the piece of dowel to put inside of the whistle. You're going to cut the piece of dowel the same length as this piece right here, the front piece of your whistle. Alright, and once you have the piece of dowel cut, now what you want to do is take your sandpaper and sand one edge of it flat. And I do that about 1/4 of the way through the dowel. So I just take my sandpaper and just sand one side of it flat. Alright, once you've got that sanded flat, you're going to put that in your whistle flat side up. And if it fits a little tight, you can always sand just a little bit off the dowel all the way around. It looks like that's what I'm going to have to do on this one. Sometimes the dowels aren't exactly the same size as the drill bit, so you need to just do a little touch-up work. And you do want it to be a snug fit. Otherwise, if it's loose, you'll have to wood glue it, and I prefer not to do that. So you want it to be a pretty snug fit. Alright, so once you have your dowel inserted into the whistle, it's time to try it for the first time. Now if it doesn't work, then you may have to take a little more off of the flat side of the dowel, or you may need to just play around with where it is inside of the whistle. But let's try it and see if it works. Sounds like a whistle. I think this will be good. It's a high enough pitch that I think it'll get Rosie's attention when I need to. Now all that's left to do is to drill the hole and put it on the lanyard. Alright, there you go. Now you've got a whistle you wear around your neck. And what'd that take? About 20 minutes to make? You know, these also make great stocking stuffers. We're getting to about that holiday season, so I think you should give this a try. Again, it's good for a lot of reasons, even if you're just out for a hike and something you need to scare something away or get someone's attention, or it's a good thing to have on hand. So go ahead and give it a try. Again, I made this one out of cedar, but any dry wood will work. So you guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, I hope you'll hit the subscribe button below. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And until next time, you guys, thanks for stopping by the homestead, and God bless.